Jungle Cruise, the movie that answers the question, what happens when Disney has long since run out of original ideas and they're running out of IPs to reboot, so they figure, well, the last amusement park ride we turned into a movie made a lot of money. What other Disney World attractions can we do that with? I would have gone with Space Mountain, but you do you. If ever there was a sign of how dry the creative well is over at the Mouse House, this is it. Pirates of the Caribbean was a fluke, okay? That movie had no business being as good as it was, but it just happened to have a visionary director, a great cast, an iconic performance from Johnny Depp, and to the shock of most people, against a whole lot of odds, a franchise was born. That's not a formula you can necessarily recreate, at least not easily. They definitely try to recreate it with Jungle Cruise, but as usual with modern-day Disney, that creative spark is just not there. It doesn't try to push the story into any brave new territory, it plays everything pretty safe, while at the same time making no secret of where it's getting all its ideas from. And weirdly enough, it's not just pirates, it's also the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies. I almost felt like making a list of all the things in Jungle Cruise that were copied and pasted from those franchises. Undead antagonists? Check. Comedic action sequence with ladders? Check. Character archetypes? Check. It's the same characters from The Mummy, really. You've got the incorrigible rogue, the lady scientist, and her foppish, effeminate brother who's completely useless until the last 20 minutes of the movie. Of course he's gay, because that's all the stereotypes. They don't actually say he's gay, though. It's implied in one scene, which could be easily cut depending on what foreign market you live in. Wink. And then it's never mentioned again. And the movie does absolutely nothing with it, I guess for the same reason why they cut the lesbians out of The Rise of Skywalker for the Chinese release. So there you go, Alphabet community. You got your representation, but only in a, well, if we have to kind of a way, so congratulations? So yeah, this whole thing is basically just The Mummy and Pirates of the Caribbean mashed together with a new coat of paint slapped on it. That doesn't have to be a bad thing though, those are both fun movies, so there's no reason why Jungle Cruise shouldn't at least be fun. And it is. I was enjoying myself for most of it. There's nothing really new here, all the character and story beats felt very familiar, but the cast is likable enough that it doesn't seem like that big of an issue. Casting Emily Blunt guarantees you're gonna get at least one great performance. The brother is fine. Out of the three mains, the movie is the least interested in him, but he's not unlikable, and he still gets an arc of sorts. Dwayne Johnson is the weird one, though, and it's strange to me that when the movie is lifting so many other things from Pirates, this character is the one they went sideways on. Johnson is charismatic as hell. It's almost impossible to dislike the guy, but he's not a character actor. He mostly sticks to playing slightly different versions of himself, and that's worked out great for him so far, but he's in the Jack Sparrow role here, and that kind of needed a character actor. You look at Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean, and you don't see Johnny Depp, you see Captain Jack. But I look at Dwayne Johnson in Jungle Cruise, and I don't see Frank. I see the jabroni-beaten, pie-eaten, trailblazing, eyebrow-raising, such and such. He doesn't feel like the character, or even a person from the time period the film takes place in. He just feels like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. That itself is not a bad thing either, though. Johnson doesn't disappear into the role by any stretch, but he's so charming you don't really care most of the time. Him and Emily Blunt have lots of chemistry. They were obviously having a ton of fun playing off each other, and that really comes across on screen. So even if you're seeing the actor and not the character, Johnson still pretty much makes it work. I just wish I could say the same about the story. Pirates, despite the one-dimensional source material, took a lot of chances, and it actually got surprisingly dark at times too. It even played around with the idea of not wrapping everything up nice and neat for the main characters, which was a pretty ballsy move for a franchise like that. Jungle Cruise, by comparison, is less bold. Nothing that happens is all that surprising. Some parts of it are kinda dumb. Like, there's a subplot involving a submarine that made me wonder how deep the filmmakers think that river is supposed to be. The characters are put in dangerous situations, but you never really fear for them. Even when bad things do happen to them, it's usually turned into a joke, which is fine if you're going for a lighthearted tone for this thing, but it does make it feel like the stakes are never very high. It's still fun, but not that exciting. The franchises Jungle Cruise is emulating were both, and 1 out of 2 isn't bad, It's just not great. That all said, though, I didn't dislike this film. It is a pretty derivative retread of several better movies from two better franchises and doesn't have many ideas of its own, but there's still enough fun to be had here that I didn't feel like I wasted my money. Some of the jokes land fairly well, and the action scenes are certainly more competent than other stuff I've seen recently, even if they do keep the gloves on for the most part. It's a diverting family movie. The kids will probably like it. Personally, I'd rather just rewatch Curse of the Black Pearl, but for a movie based on a Disney World ride and taking most of its inspiration from another movie based on a Disney World ride, Jungle Cruise is probably better than it really should have been. Let me know what you thought about Jungle Cruise in the comments below. And while you're here, don't forget to ding that bell icon and follow me on social media so you'll always know when I upload new stuff. I also have a live streaming channel now, the links are down there. And most importantly, don't forget to thumbs up the video, share, subscribe, and make sure you're still subscribed, because what really deserves to be shipped down the Amazon River to be eaten by piranha, speared by natives, and have God knows what done to them by undead something or other is the YouTube algorithm. That's all for now, but I'll be back with more soon. So stay tuned for that, do all the YouTube things, and I'll see you next time.